Hello and welcome to Forever Motorsports for the review of the Qatar Grand Prix, and what a race that was. Action from lap 1. We got a safety car on the start of the race because Lewis Hamilton got a little bit too close to his teammate into turn 1. He took himself out, as I said, into turn 1, hitting his rear right tyre into George Russell's front right tyre. That took the wheel off the rim, unfortunately destroying the rim and sending him into the gravel. He was unable to get his car out of the gravel, of course, with only one rear wheel, and then unfortunately, that was his race over in the first lap. He was quite upset with George Russell, but it wasn't Russell's fault, as Russell did actually not have enough room to move to the inside as Max was on his inside. Lewis Hamilton still had about 2 meters to his left when he was going around the outside. Disappointing for him today. It could have been a really exciting race for him. With all of these tyre strategies, we had 4 different tyres for every single driver out here today. Max Verstappen doing a medium, hard, medium stint. Piastri doing a medium, hard. Both the McLarens doing that. Russell, of course, having that incident in lap 1, he had to come into the pits. He did a medium, hard, soft. And then the rest of the grid pretty much did the same as those top 3. So to make our way through the top runners for the race here today, Max Verstappen took another race win here today in Qatar. Another dominant win for him. Of course, with a very difficult race, we're seeing Oscar Piastri looking very hot and tired there, sitting waiting for his interview. It was certainly really hot here around the Qatar circuit. But to go over our top 20 drivers, Verstappen finished in first, with Piastri second and Lando Norris in third for the third Grand Prix in a row that McLaren have been able to be on the podium. George Russell then finishing in fourth after having a great comeback after that collision with Lewis Hamilton. Charles Leclerc finishes in fifth. Disappointing that his teammate Carlos Sainz was not able to participate in the race due to a fuel line issue on his Ferrari that the Ferrari mechanics were not able to resolve before the start of the race. Fernando Alonso, even with a mistake, he was able to finish up in P6. We would have liked for him to get on the podium today, but damage limitation for him, as we said, after his incident. Into turn 15, he had a bit of a oversteer moment, went into the gravel, but nonetheless, still a good comeback to stay into sixth there. Ocon then finishing 7th, Bottas 8th, Zhou Guanyu 9th. Sergio Perez not having the greatest day. He got overlapped by his teammate Max Verstappen. He finishes down in P10. Lance Stroll in 11th, Gasly 12th, Albon in 13th, Magnussen 14th, Yuki Tsunoda 15th, Nico Hülkenberg in 16th, Lawson in 17th, and then our DNFs from the race were Logan Sargent, Lewis Hamilton, and then of course Carlos Sainz did not start the race at all. Logan Sargent had to retire from the race, unfortunately, because he was suffering with what looks like either hectic dehydration or possibly some heat stroke in the car today. We heard that it could have been about a 50-degree temperature in the cockpit of those cars. Certainly very uncomfortable for the drivers, and certainly very difficult conditions for them out there. We're watching Lando Norris getting interviewed now. He's completely drenched in sweat in his McLaren balaclavas. It was a very difficult day out there for them. Lando Norris was really closing down on Oscar Piastri in the last few stages, but Oscar Piastri, on the weekend where he took his first race win, he still gets another race podium. Phenomenal for the rookie. We're really going to be watching what happens to him throughout the rest of the season, as well as what happens to him throughout the rest of his racing career. Josh Hilario says they should have let Lando pass. I disagree with you there. Piastri's had a phenomenal race weekend, and he has really deserved to get those double podiums yesterday in the sprint race and today as well in the main event. But that has been it for me here, Reece, on Forever Motorsports. Brought to you by Forever Sports. It has been a chaotic race here in Qatar, with that first lap incident between Hamilton and Russell, and then some really interesting overtakes throughout the race as well, introduced by the fact that drivers had to box every time their tyres got to 18 laps old, due to the stipulation from the FIA and Pirelli, due to the high degradation that we saw around the circuit. They didn't want to repeat of 2021 where we had tyre blowouts, which meant that every time your tyres got to 18 laps old, you had to dive into the pits and put on a new set of tyres, which is why we had drivers putting on 4 different sets of tyres throughout this race. But once again, thank you very much for watching me here on Forever Sports, brought to you by Forever Motorsports. I've been Reece. Mark joined me as well through the stream. He says thank you very much for joining us. We hope to see you though through on our next stream here on Forever Motorsports. Please do be sure to go and check out our channel. That brings you that brings you daily Formula One news and Formula One content. Thank you very much, though. I'm going to go and eat some dinner and have a good, well-rested break. But we'll be sure to see you at the next race out in Austin. And we're certainly looking forward to that, as Daniel Ricciardo should be back on the grid. Cheers.